You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers, the championship game of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic, Christmas Day in Honolulu. Waikiki Beach, Diamond Head the backdrop. And a champion will be crowned here. It's Oregon State and Nebraska in the championship game at the Stan Sheriff Center. To look at our bracket, the Beavers in overtime beat Oakland a couple of days ago in the semis, and Nebraska beat the home team, Hawaii, to get to this championship game. Along with Sean Farnham and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you, Mele Kalikimaka. How's it from the 50th state? The Beavs, the Huskers, we've got a championship game.
Look, one of these teams is going to be crowned a champion. Not many opportunities you have over the course of your season to be called a champion. These non-conference events, these tournaments, this is an opportunity to go 3-0, hoist up a trophy. And for both these teams, they're looking to build on what has been a tremendous start to their college basketball season. You look at Oregon State with a couple marquee wins as they're playing in the WCC this year. Nebraska, after beating Indiana, looking to continue that momentum here in Hawaii for one more game and go back as a champion. And
Nebraska has had some outstanding performances. Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary have paved the way for the Huskers to this championship game.
They've been phenomenal, and the way that they dominated last time out, Bryce Williams, 10 of 18, 32 points, tying a career high. Juwan Gary, not to be outdone, was every bit as good and as important to how they wanted to play. He goes 8 of 10, 21 points. The key, though, was 34 of their 40 points came in the second half. 34 of the second half points by the Huskers were scored by those two guys. They dominated down the stretch. Big reason why they were so successful. Michael Ratai has been unbelievable all season long. Double-double machine. And if you haven't watched this Oregon State team, they are tough, they are physical, they like to post up. Ratai has been the guy, though, that can create a little bit off the wing or invert and post up. And because of that, he could become a matchup problem. They have to play through him. He has not found his shot so far here on the island. Expect a big game in the championship game for a player that's had a great start to the season.
Oregon State in the orange, designated home team Nebraska in the whites, as the championship game of the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic is underway. And a turnover by the Beavers, the double team forcing it from Parsa Fala from Oregon State as the starting five for Nebraska. Fred Hoiberg presented by Outrigger Hotels and Resorts. And a steal, here come the Beavs in transition. Michael Ratai, the miss. Gets the offensive rebound.
That's got to be a make. You want to win a championship, you got to be able to make those shots in transition. You create the turnover. As I mentioned, Ratai not playing his best over here so far. 10 of 31, shooting just 32% from the field.
Pull-up jumper. And that one rims out for DeMarco Minor. And Nebraska in control.
Both these teams talk about their identity being at the defensive end of the floor. Expect a concerted defensive effort from both teams.
Berke Buktungel missing a three, and the rebound, here comes DeMarco Minor for the Beavs.
Roxy, they do it very differently, though. You know, Oregon State's going to change up their defense. They'll play some zone, try to change looks and keep you off balance. Nebraska's going to be physical, and they are going to force you baseline when you catch the ball in the corner, and they're going to step up and rotate with help.
Michael Ratai, and he missed from inside, and the rebound grab by Bryce Williams for Nebraska.
And that was a prime example of it with Mia just stepping right in, utilizing his length after the initial on-ball defensive player was out of the way.
And then Mia goes down, and a block is called on Oregon State. And Braxton Mia grimacing a bit getting up. It's on DeMarco Minor of the Beavers as Wayne Tinkle, his 11th season at Oregon State. And the Beavs, who went to the Elite Eight under Tinkle back in 2021.
What an improbable run that was. They had to go on to win the Pac-12 tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. They did. And then in that year where the tournament was in the bubble, they went all the way to the Elite Eight.
And a three, Bryce Williams breaks the seal in this championship game.
Yeah, he's right back at it. That was a clean look. He's been playing at an elite level this season.
Career high tying 32 in their semifinal win against Hawaii. knocked away. Berke Butungel diving for it, but knocks it out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock for Oregon State. And Fred Hoiberg, now in his 6th year in Lincoln. Last year, a phenomenal season for Nebraska as the Big Ten Coach of the Year.
It's a good looking shirt.
That is a strong. It's not Greg Campy.
No, but
quality,
but I mean, it's stylish.
Yes.
Like, and it fits Coach. I mean, he's very physically fit. He wears the joggers every game. You know, he still looks like he could drop 30.
Probably could. That's a long 2, and the first points for the Beavers from the perimeter to Marco Minor for Oregon State.
And he has had a really good tournament over here.
And a foul will get Juwan Gary to the line. It's on Notorious Lelovicius of Oregon State.
Going back to Fred Hoiberg, I talked to him yesterday on the phone. I said, Coach, what have you learned about your team here? He said, Sean, 2 completely different games. We came out, we dominated right from the start in our opener. He goes, and then we played Hawaii, and on their own floor, we got dominated early, and we really had to gut check ourselves a little bit. And once we locked in to competing on the defensive end and understanding how consistent our effort has to be at that end of the floor, we felt like we took control of that game, and they did. And you know, we talk about Coach Hoiberg and his ability to score the basketball and how great his offenses have always been. I've mentioned this, and Huskers fans that have watched all of our games here, they've heard me say this. This defense is good enough to travel and win games on the road in the Big Ten.
They're holding opponents to 39% shooting from the floor. And Oregon State also has been tremendous defensively this year, as the numbers across the board for Wayne Tinkle's team on that end of the floor. Really unprecedented in recent years for Oregon State. Offensive rebound, Parsifala. Nate King's underneath, and it just does fall off, but King's hustling on the offensive glass.
This Oregon State team is pretty resilient in their own mind. I mean, down double figures to Oakland and battled their way back to get here into this game.
They were down 12 with just under 5 minutes to go against Oakland in the semis and won it in overtime. Good ball movement by the Huskers. But the shot way off from Juwan Gary. Here comes Oregon State.
One of the biggest keys offensively for both teams is being opportunistic.
And taking advantage of the opportunity. An open 3 for Latoris Lelovicius to tie the game.
And what I mean by that is, if you make this a half-court game, you're allowing both teams to play to their strength. So when you have turnovers, when you grab a rebound, can you run and score against an unset defense? Because once they get loaded, it's pretty hard.
Up and under, Bryce Williams.
Not for him, it's not.
Already with 5.
There's a couple things that Bryce Williams does really well. He gets that middle third of the floor, and that's the painted area on the court. He loves to get to that free throw line and to step inside that free throw line and see if he can lift you defensively and then finish. We saw him do it a bunch the other night late in that game, got to the free throw line a couple of times off of it.
Tough shot in the corner, fouled on a 3. DeMarco Minor, a chance for 4.
I mentioned it, DeMarco Minor has had himself a really good tournament here in Hawaii. He's noted for his defense. He's outstanding at getting steals, but averaging almost 14 points per contest in the first 2 games. That'll help. A chance for 4 when we come back.
The Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. The Hawaiian Islands plan your unforgettable journey. GoHawaii.com and Outrigger Hotels and Resorts. Come be here. It's a good place to be on Christmas Day. Mele Kalikimaka. 8-7 Oregon State with the lead, and this was prior to the third place game. And Aran Ganat's annual event, the Coaches versus Cancer event to kick off the Diamond Head Classic at the Outrigger Hotels, and raising nearly $50,000 with that event for Coaches versus Cancer a couple nights before the tournament started.
As a board of director member of the American Cancer Society, I was honored to be out on the floor with Aron Ganat, who, as part of the Coaches versus Cancer initiative that so many, both these coaches, by the way, are part of as well, to give to the fight against cancer. And we talk about it all the time here on ESPN with the V Foundation and V Week and all the money that needs to go to research to try to combat this horrible disease. And the Hope Lodge is what that benefited, and the Hope Lodge is great. 32 of them across the country give free lodging to anybody that's going through the battle against cancer, so it takes that financial burden off of them.
Juwan Gary drawing contact, and a couple of free throws. Oregon State foul.
Well, the size, and talking to Wayne Tinkle, and that play is a microcosm of what he was concerned most about coming into this game. And he's saying you can't reach down, you got to keep your hands up. The size and athleticism of their guard/wings and their ability to post up and play with their back to the basket was something he thought could apply problems to their defense.
Pops out for Juwan Gary. Foul was on Parsifala of Oregon State. One more shot for Gary, the senior from Columbia, South Carolina. Began his college career at Alabama. And he goes 1 for 2. So all 8 points for Nebraska have come from Williams and Gary.
Both teams have only had 2 players score.
DeMarco Minor, the kick to Michael Ratai. Shot clock rolling down on Oregon State. And Ratai forced to take a shot, and it doesn't come close. And a turnover, shot clock violation against the Beavers.
How good is that defense, though? I mean, and look, you can say it's bad offense that dribble ball in the corner like that, but it's where they want to force you. And they're just staying between you. They want to force you to the sideline. They want to use it as an extra defender. Bryce Williams doesn't panic. He doesn't reach. He just plays position defense and forces up a contested heave with almost no time left to go on the shot clock.
Oregon State has won 6 straight. Beavers are 10-2. And some solid wins along the way, as the rebound grab by DeMarco Minor for Oregon State, while Nebraska 9-2, and they've won 3 in a row. Michael Ratai off balance, will get to the line. 2 shots for the junior from Germany. Leading scorer and rebounder on this Oregon State team. First foul on Andrew Morgan. Get ready to ring in the new year. ESPN2 men's college basketball triple header on New Year's Eve. It'll start at noon Eastern in the ACC, NC State in Virginia, followed by Syracuse and Wake Forest, and we finish in the Big 12 from Provo, Arizona State, and BYU. Happy New Year. We'll be in Provo.
Now, that game in Provo is going to be really good to kick off the Big 12. First Big 12 game for Arizona State. It's their first season in that conference. Bobby Hurley's team has got a really talented freshman recruiting class. Jaden Quaintance was the headliner, and defensively an elite level player that offensively is getting much more comfortable as the season has progressed. Not Bryce Williams comfortable.
He's got 7 of the Huskers' 10. Arizona State, of course, with Pac-12 schools moving around. And the former Wake Forest Demon Deacon big man, Matthew Marsh, missing inside. It's out of bounds to Nebraska. But Oregon State, and they're still technically in the Pac-12. They're an affiliate member for this and next year of the West Coast Conference. But when the Pac-12 is reforming in a couple of years, they'll be one of the cornerstone teams of a rebuilt Pac-12.
I think that move was very smart for the West Coast Conference to grab, because it will strengthen the WCC this year as Gary dials it up from deep. But you talk about the West Coast Conference, Gonzaga, St. Mary's have been the standard bearers. And then you've had other teams kind of step up. San Francisco's been very consistent. Chris Gurleson has done an outstanding job with that program.
Former Hawaii assistant, by the way.
Herb Sendek obviously has put multiple guys in the NBA draft in recent years. But you add in a team like Oregon State, who's got it off to a great start this year. Now it helps your conference standing.
Michael Ratai missing a three.
By all the metrics, 7th best conference in the country, according to Ken Pom. And that means you become an easy multi-bid leap into the NCAA tournament.
Long rebound to Juwan Gary. And the rebound, Michael Ratai for Oregon State.
A win here today for Oregon State is not just a win for them, it's a win for the WCC.
Washington State in the same boat as Oregon State. Their new coach, David Riley, who is the nephew of former Oregon State head football coach Mike Riley. But a turnover and offensive foul in Oregon State.
Obviously, from a Nebraska perspective, you're just trying to continue to build momentum as you come out of here, and you've got a game against Southern on the 30th, and you get right back to conference play with a home game against UCLA. I've done a game at Nebraska. It's been a while. But man, that's a beautiful facility, and they get outstanding crowd support.
Andrew Morgan backing his way in. And a travel, and Morgan with a turnover. Nebraska up 2. Championship game of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Sean's got presents for everybody coming up.
I love passing out presents on the holidays. Holiday gifts, it is the season of giving. Ryan Nembhard is the gift that keeps on giving. He leads the nation in assists at 10.2 per game. Dylan Harper is the must-have gift of the season. 3rd in the nation in scoring with a 52% field goal percentage for the talented freshman out of Rutgers. Maxime Reynaud, only one player in college basketball, is ranked in the top 10 in both scoring and rebounding. He's in the top 5 in rebounding, top 10 overall in scoring. And in Chucky Hepburn, we show him scoring, but he's the best Grinch. Why? 6 games with 3 or more steals. 3 games with 6 or more steals. 7th was his season best against Indiana. And I feel sorry for both those two men who are going to be shown on television, and their family at home are watching, and they're thinking to themselves, you wanted to do the chicken dance, and you didn't even do it well.
I'm trying to figure out the dance of the guy in this suit, what he was trying to do.
He was,
because he wasn't even making an attempt at the chicken dance.
No, he's basically doing the dying bird. I think when you start talking about players, and Maxime Reynaud and his versatility is unlike almost any player in college basketball this year. And ranked 10th in scoring and in the top 5 in rebounding. Just a great start to the season for the reigning ACC player of the week.
A 3 from Latoris Lalavicius, and Oregon State has the lead. The second 3 for the sophomore from Lithuania.
He does an excellent job of spacing the floor. In transition, he looks to run to the corner. If he's in the trail spot, he's going to run to one of the wings.
He was cleared just before the season began by the NCAA committee. And he's got 3 years to compete for Oregon State, or for college basketball, I should say, the way the game is played now.
Wayne Tinkle's hoping all 3 will be in Corvallis.
And he had the big and one late in regulation against Oakland in the semis to force overtime. Marco Minor. 5 to shoot. Minor from the corner. And that's an air ball and a shot clock violation. An Oregon State turnover. And slow to get up and go back the other way, Isaiah C.
Yeah,
the sophomore from France.
He just got poked in the eye going in for that rebound. You know, we saw this the other night too. Oregon State, Nebraska ability to force Hawaii into shot clock violations. Twice already early here in this first half, you've had late contests and shot clock violations that take place because of their defense. I mean, that's discipline. That's discipline, and it's understanding how you want to play. Coach Hoiberg talking about Nebraska winning in different ways. Obviously, Williams and Gary, as we profiled off the top, they were great the other night. First game, it was the guys off the bench that made a difference.
Connor Essegian on the drive. And the rebound, Oregon State, and Latoris Lelavicius. Transition three, Josiah Lake rattles home.
Roxy, that was what I was alluding to earlier. You have to take advantage in transition against an unset defense. The defense was dropping off. You had a wide open three. That's a great shot because it might be the best shot you get against Nebraska in the entire shot clock.
Beavers 4 for 7 from outside the arc. And Raleigh Wooster, the floater. Wayne Tingle and Oregon State know that Raleigh Wooster's not a stranger.
Yeah.
Last 3 years at Utah playing for Craig Smith. It's Josiah Lake, the spin and the bucket.
Big post up underneath. Help side defense wasn't able to rotate over the same way that you've seen from Nebraska.
Connor Essegian, 3.
That is a huge shot for Connor Essegian, who did not shoot the ball well at all. He only had 2 points, 21 minutes against Hawaii. Get 15 points versus Murray State. He can really fill it up.
Deep three, Isaiah C. for the Beavers. 5 threes for Oregon State.
5 of the 7 makes have been deep for Oregon State.
Sam Hoiberg knocked down and will get to the foul line, but Oregon State has a three-pointer dialed in.
They've got the three-pointer dialed in, and against this Nebraska defense with their size and length underneath, you're not going to be able to overpower them, but can you shoot it out over the top of the defense? The answer so far has been yes for the Beavers.
Bowl Mania rolls on Thursday. 3 more games on ESPN starting at 2 Eastern with the game above Sports Bowl between Pitt and Toledo. Then it's Rutgers and Kansas State in the Great Bowl. We cap off the day, Arkansas State and Bowling Green in the 68 Ventures Bowl. Thursday, 3 games on ESPN.
I'm looking forward to that Kinder's Bowl. He's got LSU win that game. That's going to be fun.
I want that Nacho Bowl. He's making me hungry.
I might need that as I go to the airport after this game to get to the red eye home. Somebody get me some nachos.
I'm staying another night.
Of course you are.
I would stay longer if I could.
She probably will come back.
Sam Hoiberg at the line for Nebraska.
You deserve an extra day after having to work with me for 3 of the last 4 days.
Rolls into second.
Hopefully it's not too windy for you, though. I don't know how much that bothers you.
I'm all about being in perfect conditions. You know that. I get thrown off if there's just a slight breeze.
I've not checked the weather for Provo next week, but I'm going to assume that it might be chillier and have a little bit of a breeze when you and I are there.
We might drop 50 to 60 degrees in temperature. Another 3 on the way. That's way off from Jaquavis Williford, the freshman. And here comes Nebraska and Bryce Williams. Muscles his way to the basket. Bryce Williams and 1.
How nice is it if you're Fred Hoiberg to know that you've got a guy out on the floor that can score at any point in time? So much of college basketball, yes, it's great to share the wealth and have different guys lead your team in scoring. But you know what I love more? Having a dude. Bryce Williams is a dude. Like, I mean, he's going to go ahead and he's going to get you close to 20 almost every single night. And his efficiency and how he shoots the ball, and he's shooting 50% from the field, 45 from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Not many players do that in college basketball.
And he gives Nebraska the lead again. The steal, Juwan Gary played it perfectly on the baseline.
He baited him. He was guarding 2 on the weak side, and he baited him into the pass and jumped it.
Now launching a 3 is Gary. And the tip by Braxton Mia, and Jaquavis Williford has it for Oregon State. Wow. Josiah Lake. And a foul going for the rebound. It's on Braxton Mia of Nebraska.
I want you to be aggressive offensively at all times. I'm not sure if that shot from Josiah Lake is no pass into the offense and cast from well beyond the NBA three-point line.
And Wayne Tinkle had similar thoughts to you, and he expressed it to Josiah Lake. So the foul was on Connor Esijan, not Mia. Just the 3rd Nebraska team foul. And the rebound grab by Raleigh Wooster for the Huskers. Bryce Williams and Michael Ratai with the block shot.
How about Ratai's athleticism to go up and meet him? I think Bryce Williams had some ill attention, at least at the start, with the way that he was cupping the ball when he took off. And then Ratai got there to him.
And Ratai had a good argument that he was trying to tell our officials that, look, that ball went out of bounds off Bryce Williams, and he was right.
He was.
Raleigh Wooster couldn't handle it, but Juwan Gary does. Gets it back to Wooster, finds a path to the basket. Braxton Mia rips it down in the kick out. Connor Esijan, 3.
Best time always to shoot the three-point shot is a kick out on the offensive rebound. Braxton Mia, he makes the little plays so consistently that go unnoticed for Nebraska.
And a forced pass thrown away, Michael Ratai. Transition, Juwan Gary. Offensive foul. 2nd on Gary.
Braxton Mia positions himself on the weak side, rips the ball away. There's 3 orange jerseys around him. It's an extremely long closeout coming from the top of the key, and Esijan knocks it down. By the way, come back on that next defensive possession. Mia, against a guard, plugs the hole and just walls up defensively, forcing the bad pass that leads to the other opportunity at this end of the floor. Now, they didn't convert on it, but it's the small things that he does sometimes. It doesn't even show up in the box score. The rebound does. But how many times he erases issues because of his positioning.
And a foul will send Parsifala to the line for Oregon State. A nice feed from DeMarco Minor. First on Raleigh Wooster. Fala, just a 58% foul shooter. Came to Oregon State from Southern Utah, played there the last couple of years. A junior from Iran. Women's basketball Red River rivalry game coming up January 2nd on ESPN2. Number 9 Oklahoma hosting number 5 Texas in Norman. Our coverage starts 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Coming up after Memphis and FAU on the men's side. Thursday, January 2nd, as conference play is right around the corner.
That Texas team has a dynamic duo in the backcourt. Madison Booker, a true shooting guard, scorer. Last year was forced to play the point guard position when Rory Harmon tore her ACL. Now she's back as a facilitator. They got a good combo 1-2 punch for the Longhorns.
Shot clock down to 5. Connor Esijan goes baseline. Braxton Mia, shot clock violation and a Nebraska giveaway.
Yeah, tough to dump it off to Mia and expect that with his back to the basket, he was going to realize that there was a second and a half left on the shot clock.
And a terrific defensive team for Wayne Tinkle at Oregon State. They're 10th in the country in scoring defense, 9th in defensive field goal percentage, and 18th in defensive three-point field goal percentage.
Nothing about this game surprises me so far. You're not going to get a lot of clean looks. Every shot's going to be contested at both ends of the floor.
Michael Ratai having a tough time getting on track. He's now 0 for 4 from the floor as Bryce Williams getting a timeout as took a finger in the eye. He's explaining to John Floyd, one of our referees. 30-second timeout, Nebraska.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold or Flu Fizzy Chews. Chew, fizz. Feel better fast. No water needed. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Fizzy Chews.
Why did you invite him?
He was out there all alone.
Great party. I really feel the warmth. I wish this night would last forever.
I'll get him up.
M&M's for all fun kind.
Bryce Williams getting some attention from the athletic trainer for Nebraska. As a timeout was taken after he was pleading his case to John Floyd, working with Bart Lennox and Keith Kimball, our championship game officiating crew, about taking a rake across the face there. 2-point lead for Nebraska. And Oregon State, when they get home, and you mentioned Nebraska will play UCLA. They've already played a couple of conference games in the Big Ten after Southern goes to Lincoln. But Oregon State will start their initial run through the West Coast Conference next Monday against Portland at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis.
Both Portland and Oregon State probably go back to that Oregon game that they both played and think they both should have had wins. Oregon and Dana Altman has had a great start to their year, but they were on the ropes against this Oregon State team, and then Portland was at the free throw line ready to ice the game.
Berke Buktungel a three for the Huskers, their largest lead.
Really good freshman class for Shante Ligon's team. Micah Ballou, a very talented scorer out of Southern California, continues to find his rhythm.
Michael Ratai, short on the three, and the rebound trickles out to Raleigh Wooster for Nebraska.
He's pulling the string a little bit on his shot. And it's because he's struggled here in this building so far, and I thought after watching the first two games that maybe today would be a breakout opportunity for him. Still can be, but he's just got to let it rip. It's like you're overthinking it when you start to struggle as a shooter and you start to overthink it. Never good things happen.
DeMarco Minor somehow got that one up and in, and he leads Oregon State with 8. Berke Buktungel tries the other corner and another three.
Over-helping on the back line of the defense by Oregon State. Berke, if he gets scoring, that adds and takes away some pressure off of Williams and Gary. This Nebraska team gets that much stronger. They're up by 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball, brought to you by Kay, the official partner of couples who love the game. Championship game of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Nebraska up 6. 3:14 to go here in the half. And coming up on our Kay Jewelers halftime report, a hike to remember. Sean Farnham has hiking shoes on. Take a look back at the first half, highlights and stats. The 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. And what's crazy, we had another overtime game earlier today when Hawaii beat Oakland in overtime. In the first 14 years of this event, there's been a total of 5 overtime games. We've had 3 in this year's event, showing you how competitive this field has been, including the first double overtime game in Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic history.
And we can say we were here.
We were here. Then you had the 5 overtime football game in the Hawaii Bowl.
Everybody just wants to stay in Hawaii a little bit longer. Nobody wants to leave. Why would you?
Marco Minor. And the rebound batted around, and it's Sam Hoiberg pulling it down for Nebraska. Then it goes out of bounds, and will stay at this end with Oregon State.
Man, they fly around defensively.
They play hard, they hustle.
Like, it is such an essential part of winning in college basketball today is your defense. Both coaches, when I spoke with them yesterday, they were talking about how they felt like this year's teams were a little bit different. Nebraska, their defense has been awesome since we've been here. Oregon State, you ran through all the field goal percentage of scoring Ds in the top 10. Like, you look at the teams that have the most consistency in college basketball, they defend.
Nate Kings, his first points in his championship game. He redshirted last year with a knee injury. Now the steal by Kings. And Kings, the finish. Great sequence for Nate Kings.
Got to be calculated. Cross court, straight line pass, you can't do. Bryce Williams knows that. Kings was outstanding position, well positioned, and jumped that line.
Kings, who went to Oregon State with the name Nate Myhoff, and changed his name in the offseason to Kings, as Kings grew up in foster care and really didn't identify with that name and tried to blaze his own trail. And the Nate Kings is now what he is known as.
I love that. He's had a great start to the year so far, averaging over 10 points per game. And coming from the College of Southern Idaho. He averaged 16.5 points per game when he was at College of Southern Idaho.
That's one of the top junior college programs in the country. Shot clock violation, turnover Nebraska.
And that turnover was based on the fact of where Berke Berutangel caught the ball. I mean, he's almost at midcourt with a second left to go on the shot clock. You got to run something that's going to get you action going towards the rim.
So after Nebraska opened up a 6-point lead, the Beavs have pushed it down to 2. There with 90 seconds left in the half. DeMarco Minor, a quick dart inside, deflected out of bounds by Berke Berutangel, and 9 on the shot clock for Oregon State.
So improved. I mean, you watch Berutangel with his active hands defensively, understanding the defensive principles, moving his feet.
He just never seemed comfortable at UCLA last year.
He looks comfortable in Nebraska.
Michael Ratai, and the rebound, Andrew Morgan for the Huskers.
Fred Hoiberg said this the other day. He said coming into the tournament, he was the 2nd best defensive player on their team.
To shoot, Raleigh Wooster looking for an opening. And the rebound, Michael Ratai for the Beavs.
Really good on-ball defense. And if you notice the help, they show when they get back. They show when they get back.
Parsifala will get to the line. And it's interesting with Oregon State, they had a lot of firepower offensively, Sean, last year. But they went 13-19. And you look at Jordan Pope, who's now at Texas, Tyler Bilodeau, transferred to UCLA, and the way Wayne Tinkle has rebuilt this roster.
And is there a coach that's more chill? I mean, Wayne Tinkle's just literally sitting on the scorer's table.
He's in Hawaii.
He's like, man, I'm good. But when he rebuilt this roster, there's a couple things that he said he wanted to have. He wanted to have better toughness. They got that. They show that by how they play at the defensive end of the floor.
Good teams over the years have had that, whether it's at Montana or Oregon State.
And look who he played for. Mike Montgomery, Stu Morrill. I mean, those are 2 great coaches. Stu Morrill, by the way, I feel never really got the accolades that he deserved as a head coach. He was outstanding. And so when you come from that tree and you've played for both of those guys, you've got some toughness to you. And Wayne Tinkle's best teams have always had that. So part of it has been the toughness that he went out and recruited. And the next thing he said, we need better depth. And they have better depth this year. So you check both those things off, and now all of a sudden you're 10-2 to start the year, and you're feeling really good about where you're at and how you're approaching conference play.
You think about when he ended a 25-year Oregon State drought at Oregon State to get him back to the NCAA tournament, that team with Gary Payton II, and then of course had that Elite Eight run a few years ago. And that you talked about Montana, that lineage of Mike Montgomery, Stu Morrill, Blaine Taylor, Wayne, Larry Christoviak.
That was my first recruiting trip, by the way, was to Montana. And they had me stay at a hotel that was right on the river.
Blaine Taylor the coach then?
Blaine Taylor was the coach.
Yeah.
And they had the
DoubleTree right there on the river.
It's right. The river is where they filmed the movie. The river runs through it. They told me it was the nicest spring they've had in years, and I just needed a light jacket. It started snowing on my trip. I didn't do so well with that.
And now Travis DeCure leading
I want
that
Bryce Williams to shoot the ball here.
Montana program on that same tree.
Yeah, he's got to get to that middle third. He wanted the ball back there.
Here's Berke Buchtenjel. 5 to shoot. Berke backing down. And Berke the scoop.
What a first half for him. Getting back in his scoring ways. He started off the year strong offensively. They got banged up and the numbers dropped a little bit. But he's looking good today.
DeMarco Minor missing at the buzzer. And a 2-point lead for Nebraska over Oregon State, 34-32. In this Diamond Head Classic championship game, we expected a tight game, and the teams are delivering.
Everything you would expect in a championship game of a tournament. Both teams looking to go 3-0. Both teams, as we mentioned off the top, very good at the defensive end of the floor. The defense was leading the way for both teams. A lot of fun to watch these two teams get after it.
Coming up, our Kay Jewelers halftime report. You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers, the championship game of the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. The other annual tradition here in the islands, Santa arriving via canoe.
Unbelievable scene on Waikiki Beach. So much fun and so much diversity and people from around the world that come to this island for the holidays.
Again, where else would you want to be?
I'm perfectly content being here with you.
Me too. Honolulu for the holidays. Let's go. 2-point lead for Nebraska. We wish everybody out there a Mele Kalikimaka from the 50th state. Clock issue, that's why they've stopped play.
I love
we'll
clock
restart
issues.
the second half.
Clock issues right at the start of the second half. That's beautiful. I bet you they run the same inbound play. Look at that. I'm right.
Right to DeMarco Minor, as you anticipated.
Now, I think offensively, if you're Oregon State, that's what you need to do more of here in the second half. They've done such a good job of ducking in almost every single possession, but they haven't gotten the ball down there. What that does against the defense, Roxy, is it starts to shrink it. You can either draw fouls like it did on that possession, or it forces the defense to react to the post-up, which would enhance the quality of three-point shot they're getting from the outside.
First foul on Braxton Mia. In a mismatch, if DeMarco Minor can capitalize on his quickness. Nate King's three, and Oregon State has the lead.
Paint touch, paint touch, paint touch. Whether it's the post-up I was just talking to, or beating them off the bounce and drawing the defense in and then kicking it out. Wide open three, able to knock it down.
And the turnover. Here's Nate King's again for the Beavers. And a goaltend.
They changed up their defense coming out of the halftime. They went to a 2-3 zone on that possession. They didn't change up defense as much as I thought they would in the first, but Minor's so good at timing and deflecting the ball away.
Leads his Oregon State team in steals and assists to Marco Minor, who was first team all Ohio Valley last year at SIU Edwardsville. Beavers by 3. They had a lead as large as 4 in the first half. And in the lane, Bryce Williams rolls it in.
You have to have awareness of where number 3 in white is at all times. If you allow him to sneak into the center of the paint, it's almost automatic.
And he poked it away from Michael Ratai. Last time Nebraska won an in-season holiday tournament, they won the San Juan Shootout back in 2000.
I like the San Juan Shootout. I played in that.
Did you have a good time down there?
I did.
Nate Kings, 3!
And he's having a good time here in Honolulu. How about the start to the second half? That's 8 right out of the gate for Kings.
And Oregon State has matched their largest lead. Just a minute 45 into the second half. Erke Buchengel backing his way in. And a turnaround. Rattles out. And it's last touch by Oregon State. Braxton Mia knocked it off to Marco Minor.
Just a beautiful pass. Diagonal across the court. A little bit of a lazy closeout that time. Created some space.
Kings is 2 for 2 from 3 in this one. He's up over 50% on his threes this year. He is 25 for 46. Juwan Gary, nice to the bucket.
Against the zone defense, if you can get into that mid or high post area, especially out of a trap, it's going to be a numbers situation.
Attack it on the baseline, Parsifala. The miss and the rebound, Braxton Mia, the 7-1 big man for Nebraska. Bryce Williams floats it up and in, and we're tied.
The firepower of the Huskers. I mean, we talk about the defense, but Bryce Williams is so efficient. It's not just the points that he scores, it's how efficiently he does it.
Nate Kings, and he goes down to the deck. Connor Esigian saves it off the leg of Latoris Lelavicius, and a Nebraska ball.
Just a good wall up defensively, and then good effort by Esigian to corral it and know that his momentum was taking him out of bounds, and can he maintain possession by throwing it off an Oregon State player.
Bryce Williams is double. The kick to Connor Esigian. And the long rebound, Raleigh Wooster for Nebraska. Wooster gets to the basket, and the Huskers reclaim the lead.
They're scrambling a little bit in that zone. How about that drive?
Woo! And Braxton Mia in disbelief.
Minor, though, with a little inside-out dribble, allowed him to get in the body of Mia.
Second on Mia. And Minor is 76% free throw shooter. We'll get a pair.
At WCC Media Day in Las Vegas, I spent time sitting down with Oregon State's players, and they said the one thing that they really wanted this year is they laughed at where they were preseason predicted. And they said, our goal is very simple. We want to win for coach. And it was, by the way, guys that have transferred in, guys that hadn't even played for Wayne Tinkle. The connectivity that Coach Tinkle has with his team, and the fact that his players were sitting there saying, it's not about us winning for us. We want to win for coach. And they've gotten off to their winning ways this season, 10-2, and hanging right now with Nebraska out of the Big Ten.
Bryce Williams missed a 3, and it's last touch by Oregon State.
Mia came over the top and swiped the ball in that direction. Watch this as the shot goes up. That is off of Mia.
Deflected by DeMarco Minor. Wayne Tinkle, like a lot of coaches, bringing in parts from different places, making them fit. This team has come together for him.
It's because they all have an edge. They all have a chip on their shoulder. They all felt like they were under-recruited coming out of high school. They felt like they weren't given the respect that they deserved. And now you got a whole team with a little bit of edge on them. It usually turns out pretty well. But they're in a fight right now with Nebraska.
Raleigh Wooster to the bucket.
Great read by Wooster.
And the Missoula, Montana native gives Nebraska the lead. Nate Kings had a good look from the corner. Here comes Bryce Williams. Juwan Gary in transition. And DeMarco Minor comes away with it. Knocked away by Williams. Nebraska takes it right back. Down low to Mia. Juwan Gary launching a three. And the rebound for Oregon State. Latoris Lelavicius for the Bees.
Oregon State's doubling a little bit more here in the second half, which is forcing them to scramble defensively. Good job on that possession, closing out to the shooter. The problem for Oregon State is they can't score at this end of the floor. It's been almost 4 minutes without a made field goal.
Errant pass from Parsifala. There's a 2-point lead for Nebraska at the half, and it's still 2.
Wooster, though, 3 of 6 shooting, change of direction. Not really a shot blocker out on the floor for Oregon State. Confident and able to finish.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay, the official partner of couples who love the game. Sun setting on Diamond Head and on the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic Championship game. Nebraska by 2. We look at our last 7 winners going back to a terrific Brian Dutcher San Diego State team back in 2016. Benny Boatwright leading USC to the 2017 championship. Former Hawaii assistant Jamie Dixon in TCU. Kelvin Sampson knocked off Washington as Houston won the 2019 championship. 2021, the COVID year, we technically didn't have a championship game. 2022, the Rainbow Warriors only championship in Steve Alford's Nevada Wolfpack last year. But 2021, Vandy won it because Stanford had COVID issues and could not field the team for the championship game. That's what's at stake. That trophy will either belong to Nebraska or Oregon State when this game is over.
It's a beautiful trophy. Great hats, too.
You see the oars over there for the alternate team?
I did.
I like that.
Do you think we could get one as broadcasters? Like, maybe Pat deserves one. Our cameraman sitting right here, right to the right of us. I mean, he's laughed at all my jokes, and half of them haven't been funny.
Again, showing you that Hawaiian hospitality and kindness. I'd love to have one of those oars. I'm with you.
You deserve one.
Connor
Alternative.
Sejan has his 3 blocked and pulled down by Michael Ratai for the Beavers.
When you've done 13 straight years, you probably deserve an oar. You and Kanoa. Kanoa probably has one, just to let you know.
I think he's probably got like a whole set of them. And an errant pass and diving for it, Sam Hoiberg, and Nebraska comes away with it, Bryce Williams. And then he lost the handle. Michael Ratai counters for Oregon State.
It's amazing. 10 turnovers now by Oregon State. 0 points off those turnovers for Nebraska.
3rd foul on Braxton Mia. And the 3rd on Nebraska in the second half. And Mia responsible for all 3. So mention the drought for Nebraska winning an in-season tournament. Oregon State's is even longer. They last won an in-season 8-team tournament, 1989. the Far West Classic in Portland, led by the Hall of Famer Gary Payton. DeMarco Minor, and Oregon State seesaws in front.
Good offense that time. Good relocation by Minor to the top of the key. Diagonal out of the corner. His second made three of the game.
Connor Essegian trying to create space and gets to the line. It's on Nate Kings. Two shots for Williams, or for Essegian, I should say. College hoops, New Year's Eve, a triple header for you on ESPN2. We'll start in the ACC, NC State and Virginia, followed by Wake Forest and Syracuse. Wrap up the triple header in Provo at the Marriott Center. Arizona State and BYU help us ring in the new year. College hoops on ESPN2, New Year's Eve.
You and I are on the call at Arizona State BYU. Are you wearing a tuxedo? Or, I mean, we got to get rid of the Hawaiian shirts.
Why?
Because it's going to be freezing.
But we're going to be indoors. It's like that old Jerry Tarkanian line about altitude. What does that matter? We're playing indoors.
Are you wearing a tux, though? I need to know. I need to coordinate appropriately. I'm not. I wasn't planning on it.
I have done it in the past. I'm not saying I'm going to do it again.
All right, we'll talk about it. We got some time.
All right, we got time. Probably have to let my dry cleaner know.
I don't have a tux, so I'd have to go get one.
Then that settles it. Marco Minor on the step back. And a long rebound. Bryce Williams off the tip. Tie game, 13 minutes to go in the championship of the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Erke Buktungel. The spin by Connor Essegian. And the rebound grabbed by Matthew Marsh for Oregon State.
Yeah, a good position defense by Lake that time, just staying between Essegian and the rim.
Michael Ratai. After Erke Buktungel lost his footing, and keep in mind he turned his ankle in their quarterfinal win against Murray State. And to steal, Michael Ratai weaves his way up the floor. Ratai, the lay-in, and his first field goal of the game, and Oregon State reclaims the lead. Sam Hoiberg, three!
Then Nebraska goes right back out in front. I think this is going to be a one-possession game the whole game because it's been that way seemingly forever here. This championship moments call for a little bit more attention to detail, right? You've got to be dialed in that much more. And in a one-possession game with 11:34 left to go, every possession has increased value on it. Hoiberg with the big three. Nebraska's up by one.
1 point game, the championship of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic in Honolulu, and wouldn't be a trip to the islands and Honolulu if we didn't have our friends at the Liliha Bakery bring us these delightful malasadas. I know you can't smell through the television. These smell unbelievable. And Sean?
I mean, when we just talked about BYU, you know how much I love like pastries and donuts.
Tail.
The Cougar Tail is the greatest thing ever invented. And in case you don't know what a Cougar Tail is, it's an 18-inch maple bar made of full deliciousness. So here we go. Should we try? I'm going to try. You got to talk because I'm.
Okay, I'll talk. So the malasadas from the Liliha Bakery, they are filled, the pastry, and Sean is in heaven right now. The expression. He's stealing them all. Can I have
that's
one?
That's for me. No.
One. I just want one. All right, I'll keep going. You eat. 1 point game. Sean is working on his malasada over there.
I'm not joking, I'm eating, so just go ahead and keep talking.
Nate King's launching a three. And the rebound lost out of bounds by Andrew Morgan will stay at this end with Oregon State. We are getting absolutely spoiled rotten by everybody. And I love every second of it.
This is phenomenal.
Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Michael Ratai in the lane. And it spins around and goes, and the Beavs take a 1-point lead.
That's a great move, but how come nobody has ever told me about these things before?
You've never had one.
I've never had one.
Andrew Morgan, and one as Morgan got knocked down.
Really good execution at both ends of the floor. This is watch the screen and then the direct roll rim. They double the ball, and then Morgan just, he's a big body. He can absorb the contact and go right through you.
Second foul on Michael Ratai. First points of the game for Andrew Morgan. And he gets the and one free throw in Nebraska. Goes back in front. (51-49) Huskers. Isaiah C to the bucket, and we're tied.
Back-to-back possessions, they've been able to straight line drive. Good job by C turning down the three-point shot to get to the layup.
Connor Essegian, and the offensive rebound. Berke Butunjel
with the primal yell. Great job working on the offensive glass. Gets inside, and then watch the finish and the emotion afterwards for him. You talk about it. Why watch this game? Why does this game matter? Why does it matter? Because it's Christmas night, no matter where you are. And you've got guys out here that love the game of basketball, are playing it the right way, and giving everything they have.
They want a championship. They want to bring some hardware home.
I want another one of these.
You got 4 more. You took them all from me.
The lady behind us is asking for one.
Championship game that has featured 10 lead changes. And the three short from Lataris Lelavicius. Juwan Gary turns the corner. And the foul will get Gary to the line. The second on Matthew Marsh.
Gary's been really quiet here in the second half. We haven't talked about him hardly at all. And
your mouth has been full, that's why.
Well, this has been everybody's favorite part of the broadcast. Everybody in America's like,
it's your favorite part of the broadcast.
No, they're like, we figured out how to make the broadcast better. Just feed Farnham, and it makes them quiet. I'm crushing this, by the way.
We can see that.
See.
One more for Juwan Gary. 4-point Nebraska lead. Sean is still working on his malasada. Pass deflected. The hands of Gary right to Bryce Williams. Berke Butunjel runs the floor.
Great job taking off defense to offense. First 2 points off of turnovers on the game. Even though they forced 12 turnovers, that's the first 2 they've gotten off of it. Active hands, very aggressive. Expand the lead out now to 6.
Nebraska's matched their largest lead of the game, a 6-0 run by the Cornhuskers. Finish your malasada as Berke Buchtungel finishing in transition here.
Everybody wants to finish something today. My goal in life now is to maybe finish another one of these. This is fantastic.
Finish the entire box of the Liliha Bakery's malasadas. All right, so you had, what was this?
Cinnamon and apple.
Okay. You gonna try something different? Because
Maybe,
there's
just
another
not
one
right
of
now.
those.
I don't want to like go into like sugar shock on air.
You? Sugar?
The crazy thing is, Pat, show this lady right here. This Oregon State fan right here. She's begging for me to give her one of these. Her husband's yelling at me, hey, do you have an extra one? That's how good these things are. If you haven't tried one, you need to try one. I'm not quite sure about what that guy's shirt is, though, so let's just, anyway. You know, hold on, I'm gonna.
All right, because she asked. He's a man of the people. Making friends all over the Stan Sheriff Center is Sean Farnham. The problem is he's going to have a long line of people now that think they're going to get a malasada.
Oh no, I'm not thinking about that's on you.
You just made her Christmas.
She was so excited.
So you gave her the apple.
Gave her the apple one that I just enjoyed. Oh, it's so good.
There's a peach in there. I think we have a
mango.
Koi and a mango. 57-51 Nebraska. As we get back to talking some basketball here. And
look at, she's eating it still. Again, I saved Pat's life in the first game, and I just made that woman's day by giving her a donut.
You're just a people person.
It's good, though. You know, I kind of have to give them away because otherwise I'll eat all of them.
Yes. Well, you confiscated him from me. But then again, I haven't had my dinner yet, so.
I don't want to ruin your dinner. You've
Yes.
probably got a great reservation somewhere after this game is over. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
The Beavs need an answer here after a timeout. Nate Kings on the drive, and we'll get to the free throw line.
I tell you what, that is an answer right there. You said they needed an answer. That is a little bit of an answer right there. They've got to get to the free throw line and manufacture things and soften up this defense. Nebraska and the way that they can get after you. Every shot has been contested. Every shot has been difficult.
74% of the line for Kings. As the second foul on Andrew Morgan. Kings with 13, tying for game-high honors for Oregon State with DeMarco Minor.
Worth noting again, Oregon State was down double figures to Oakland in the second half of that game, came back to tie it and then win it in overtime. Wayne Tinkle said the one thing that he knows is that they will go through some droughts offensively, but as long as they're connected at this end of the floor defensively, he feels like it's going to give them an opportunity late. We'll see if that holds true to this evening.
They were down 12 against Oakland in the semis with less than 5 minutes to go in regulation. Forced overtime, won it in overtime. As Berke Buchtungel and the tie-up, it belongs to Nebraska. 6 on the shot clock. Wiping up the perspiration on the floor. Buchtungel with a strong game, and Nebraska, the key for them, Sean, can they get a third score? Williams and Gary, but Berke has come up big in this game.
He has been, and that's the key. And they've had different guys, like Asijan has had some huge games off the bench.
And the rebound, Matthew Marsh for the Beavers.
But if you can get Buchtungel, Gary, and Williams all to be offensive weapons, then this thing really starts working well for Coach Hoiberg.
Nate King's missing from deep, and Andrew Morgan claims the miss for the Cornhuskers. Oh, and a foul on DeMarco Minor, who's in disbelief. 4-point lead, Nebraska. Championship game in Honolulu. The Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic.
cheese.
The college football playoff continues. The quarterfinals on ESPN. New Year's Eve, Penn State and Boise State in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl at 7:30 Eastern. Now New Year's Day, Texas and Arizona State. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 1 Eastern. Then Ohio State and Oregon at the Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential at 5 Eastern. And we cap New Year's Day, Notre Dame and Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. But the quarterback matchup, Dylan Gabriel and #1 Oregon against Will Howard in Ohio State. The way the Rose Bowl should be. Big Ten against the Pac-12. Oh wait, that's 2 Big Ten teams.
It was a one-point game the last time they met. I mean, those two teams have been outstanding. And I do think it's interesting the way the seeding process works in the college football playoffs. I know it's the first year of it, but like it does seem strange that the #1 seed would have such a difficult matchup in their first game versus some of the other matchups that we see.
Raleigh Wooster blew a wide open layup on a beautiful feed. And a break for Oregon State.
Now, I would also tell you this, I'm really excited to watch the Rose Bowl.
I'm excited to watch all 4 of those games.
We'll be on air for one of them, at least the start of it, so you're
Yeah.
probably not going to see that one from start to finish.
5 to shoot, step back 3. And Isaiah C. with the miss and the rebound, Nebraska.
C made a big three-pointer late in that game against Oakland. Very confident shooter from the outside. Had a good look there.
And the drop off to Juwan Gary.
Beautiful pass, forced the back line of the defense to step to you, vacates a spot, cut to that spot and get up into the iron.
And Nebraska has matched their largest lead again at 6. And a foul on the perimeter, the second on Sam Hoiberg.
Watch as the ball gets thrown into the middle of the paint. The back line of defense has to step over, and when they step over, it vacates that backside. And Juwan Gary saw it and was like a string, was pulled with that defensive player, started moving right towards the bucket. Brooks and Gel found him.
Nate Kings, and wave off the shot, illegal screen. Offensive foul, Matthew Marsh.
It's another 2+ minute scoring drought here for Oregon State, and we've said that a couple of times here in the second half.
And for Wayne Tinkle, it's interesting. He went with somewhat of an unconventional lineup down the stretch to come back against Oakland. His leading scorer and rebounder, Michael Ratai, was not really a part of that run at the end of the game. He's on the bench right now.
That speaks to the depth in which they recruited and his confidence that he has in his entire group. Minor's been the consistent, though. He is so good at the point of attack. Disruptive defensively. He gets whistled for the foul there, but he forces you to start your offense so far away from the basket.
Third personal on DeMarco Minor, and now it's the bonus, a 1-and-1 for Raleigh Wooster. 70% foul shooter for Wooster. And it rolls in. Wooster, who began his college career, played 1 year at Utah State for Craig Smith. And then when Craig Smith got the Utah job, he followed him from Logan down to Salt Lake City. 3 years for the Utes. And taking advantage of the extra year and going to Nebraska, and he hits both free throws, and now an 8-point margin.
And he adds experience, grit, and toughness at the guard position for the Huskers.
Desperate need of a bucket, Oregon State. And a foul, and that's the 7th, and now free throws for the Beavers.
Minor is consistently probing with the basketball.
First on Berke Buktungel. One and one with 6:09 to go for Minor. One more for Minor. So last 2 years for him at SIU Edwardsville. After at South Suburban Community College in Illinois. And the Harvey, Illinois native. On his way out to Corvallis. And he knocks down both.
He's found better confidence this year in shooting too, especially from three. Much improved from deep from where he was. He's in the back line of this zone right now.
The 1-3-1 that Wayne Tinkle will throw at people. And it forces a turnover. Here comes Minor. Drives. And he crashes the key in his foul.
Eerily similar to how they got back in the game against Oakland the other day. It starts with a little bit of toughness, a couple of late steals by Minor, but they got to the free throw line and then they started converting their free throw shots, and all of a sudden the game started getting tighter and tighter. He makes both. It's a 4-point game here.
Second on Berke Buktungel. One more for DeMarco Minor.
As a team, they have been perfect at the free throw line. 14 of 14.
The Oregon State fans are looking at you right now.
I already gave them a donut. They're fine. I don't believe in that at all.
I don't either, but
if you think that he missed his first free throw of the game because I said that they were perfect from the line, you're nuts. It's like baseball announcers go, oh, you don't talk about a perfect game. What, did the pitcher hear you?
Foul and Bryce Williams free throws. Oh, if they're up in the clubhouse in between innings or while their team's hitting, yeah, they might hear you. Fourth on DeMarco Minor.
That is significant.
5:31 to go.
Because that not only impacts, obviously, your ability to attack the paint and all the things that he does offensively, but defensively, he's the head of the dragon for Oregon State. The one thing that's impressed me a lot for Nebraska has been their poise and patience against this Oregon State defense. They've shot 50% from the field against a very good defense based on the fact that they've shared the basketball. They've made sure that they've tried to get the best quality shot they could. They haven't forced a lot of looks. And sometimes when you play at a little bit of slower pace, it tends to speed you up offensively because you want to force your rhythm upon the game. Oregon State doesn't let you do that a lot at the defensive end.
Nate King's a step back. Tough shot by Kings.
That's the first made field goal in almost 5 minutes of play for Oregon State. We saw Kings explode for, what was it, 7 straight points or 8 straight points really quickly just out the gate. He can cook it, and they could use him to get going.
And through the hands of Berke Buktungel, Nebraska a turnover. That 1-3-1 defense that Wayne Tinkle has put out there has worked a couple of times recently, forcing a turnover. Nate Kings, that's a deep two. And it spins all the way around and out in the rebound. Bryce Williams for the Cornhuskers. Juwan Gary tries to power his way in and will get free throws out of it. And it's on Nate Kings, his second.
Really good job by Gary just to overpower him, catch the ball at the free throw line, just overpower him, get his body moving backwards.
Juwan Gary 4 for 6 from the line, 11 points after his season high 21 in the semis against Hawaii. Sexton Mia coming back in for Nebraska.
Nebraska plus 12 in points in the paint. They've got to continue over the next 420, especially given the foul issues and being in the bonus and double bonus on the next foul. I would continue to try to apply pressure. And remember late in the game 2 nights ago, they inverted the offense a little bit, put Bryce Williams down, and he played with his back to the basket. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Hoiberg went back to that.
Deflected out by Sam Hoiberg. 16 on the shot clock for Oregon State. Would you bring Minor back after the upcoming media timeout?
No.
How long do you keep him out?
If you can get, ideally, well, it depends on how long we get to the under 4. Like, if you get the 3-minute mark, you got to bring him back.
Arsafala down low. Timeout, Oregon State. And a 4-point game with 3:49 to go. Tied 1, Nebraska, Oregon State, the championship game of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us. And the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your unforgettable journey at GoHawaii.com. Santa and Mrs. Claus, Christmas night in Honolulu, and the big Christmas tree at the Ala Moana Shopping Center on the island of Oahu. Mele Kalikimaka from University of Hawaii stands sheriff center. Championship game and a 4-point lead for Nebraska over Oregon State. Here with 3:49 remaining. And just as Sean anticipated, Marco Minor on the bench with 4 fouls, still on the bench for Wayne Tinkle as the Beavs go back defensively.
Yeah, you're not going to sub him in on a defensive possession. I think you want to give him at least a second to get back out there at the offensive end. I would not be surprised if they get a stop here, though, that he goes to the scorer's table.
Bryce Williams. And 1. Strong drive to the basket by Williams.
And Wayne Tinkle was hoping to get a push off and make it an offensive foul.
18 for Bryce Williams. This is a man's drive.
Yeah, he just drives right in the paint. Got away with a little bit of a push off. But he'll be at the free throw line. He finishes, he's strong, and he's aggressive.
My grandma Edith, she had an understanding that there is an amazing amount of intellect and insight in Hawaiian knowledge. What we have today is a flourishing scene of Native Hawaiian-owned businesses. We're taking the cultural practice and we're innovating upon that. If you can connect yourself to the Hawaiian perspective, you have the opportunity to learn what it's been like to be a part of this paradise for generations.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 Pro on us. That's a value of up to $1,800, only on Verizon.
Guys, it's time to stop treating your groins like junk. Presenting the Intimate Pubic Hair Trimmer from Gillette. It's not junk, so treat it right with a gentle and easy shave from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate.
Dedicated to the people of Hawaii. Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii flies with us.
The championship game that has featured 10 lead changes, 7 ties. Nebraska up 6 on Oregon State, 3:36 remaining. Here in the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Fred Hoiberg has won this tournament previously when he was the head coach of Iowa State back in 2013. They won the Diamond Head Classic. And they have been tremendous in this game, Sean, when attacking the basket.
Yeah, their size was going to be a problem and was a concern coming into this game, but 30 points in the paint, and it's not just the 30 points in the paint, it's the level of efficiency in which you've seen when attacking the paint. And as I mentioned, Bryce Williams late in the game last 2 nights ago, they would drive him and get him to that center part of the court. They worked him in the middle third and allowed him to attack. Again, because of his ability to shoot over the top, I would not even be surprised if they post him up coming down the stretch here. But I think if you're Nebraska, you want the ball in the hands of number 3 as much as you possibly can.
And he's at the line for an and one free throw. As the last foul on Isaiah C. of Oregon State. And now it's Nebraska by 7.
A little shocked that Minor did not check back in that moment, because it would have allowed him to ensure that the first time he's out on the court, it's at the offensive end of the floor. Gel playing essentially the 5-man right now.
Isaiah C. 3!
I mentioned it a couple possessions ago when he missed the 3-point shot. He hit a couple big ones late in the game against Oakland. Really confident look there.
His second 3 in this one. That's 9 3-pointers for Oregon State. Back to the 1-3-1 for the Beavers. And the length with Lilavicius at the top of it causing problems. Bryce Williams answers.
He immediately came in from the weak side and got to that elbow area. He's automatic from there. Good
21.
execution. Good execution. Great awareness.
And efficiency, he's 8 for 11 from the floor. Corner 3. And the rebound, Berke Buick-Tungel for Nebraska's Latoris Lilavicius comes up empty.
I'd start Bryce Williams with the ball again and say, okay, go ahead and work him right back, essentially that same position if you can.
Raleigh Wooster. Berke Buick-Tungel way out there, banks it in!
And that might do it. That might be the shot that ices this thing.
Career high 16 for Berke. And the largest lead for Nebraska. Nate Kings, and 1.
Good answer at the other end here for Oregon State, but shot clock winding down. Rooster almost falls to the ground with the basketball. What I love about that is there's no hesitation. Clearly did not mean to bank the 3 in, by the way, but no hesitation whatsoever, and then a good job aggressively attacking, drawing the N1.
But if we asked him, he'd say, oh yeah, that's,
Nobody ever tries to bank from there.
Third 3 for Berke Buick-Tungel. At the line, Nate Kings, and a 6-point Nebraska lead. Kings leads Oregon State with 19. DeMarco Minor back in for Wayne Tinkle.
When they trap, they have to scramble out of it quickly. Good job that time. Look where Williams is going, right to that elbow free throw line area. He'd like to get his hands on the ball there.
Berke down low. Buick-Tungel has it stripped, got it back, kick out. And just beating the shot clock. The miss, but the back tap, and Nebraska has it again. Bryce Williams.
He's good. He's going to be the MVP of the tournament. I'd be surprised if he's not. After dropping 32 the other night, and the efficiency in which he's played with and what he's meant.
Isaiah C. from deep. And Bryce Williams pulls it down, and a foul with 37.5 seconds. And Nebraska is taking control here down the stretch. And they lead it by 8, and the Cornhuskers Trying to win that elusive in-season tournament championship for the first time since 2000.
Well, and you do it by asserting yourself with size and strength and scoring in the paint. We knew that was going to be something that was a focus of Nebraska. But it's not just through post-ups. It's moving without the ball, and then, of course, putting the ball in the hands of the baddest dude in the gym. And he's wearing number 3 in the white uniform, Bryce Williams, following up the 32-point performance with 9 of 13 shooting, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 23 points. Don't worry, your Christmas will not be blue. You're getting a win.
2 more for Williams at the line.
For Nebraska, they'll head back home. They'll play Southern on the 30th before they play UCLA at home and then go on the road to Iowa. So a real good chance to build some strong momentum heading into conference play and then taking care of business at home and trying to build some momentum. That win against Indiana after getting absolutely drubbed by Michigan State has woken this team up, and the way they've played since then.
And that late run they went on in that game against Indiana, that was a tight game. And then down the stretch, Nebraska outscored the Hoosiers 17-1. They shot 61% from the field in that game, and you could tell the confidence propelled them here to Honolulu.
Well, and then the confidence is carried over. And you've seen it, whether it's Connor Essegian having games where he's had 20-plus points off the bench. It's the last 2 nights where he hasn't done a whole lot, to Bryce Williams becoming and understanding that he can be that guy and that he can thrive and score at an elite level. And the efficiency, 50% field goal percentage, 90% from the free throw line, 45% from beyond the arc. And it's not like he's not taking those shots. You know, it's not like he's a low usage guy. It's the efficiency that he plays with. And again, if you can get, Gary's been very consistent, but Baruch Tangel gets his scoring up to about 12 points per game. With the way they play defense and how physical they are, they're going to find wins inside the Big Ten Conference. This Nebraska team is starting to figure out exactly who they are. And when you define with your identity who you are and who you want to be, good things can happen. And their identity starts at the defensive end, and offensively starts with a guy at the free throw line.
In a lot of ways, last year was a historic season for Nebraska, and they're trying to follow up a great year when they went back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. As DeMarco Minor the miss, and the rebound Raleigh Wooster. And Wooster plays it ahead for Sam Hoiberg. But you think about what Nebraska accomplished last year, tied for 3rd in the Big Ten, the most wins for a Nebraska team since 1990-91. And now with 9.7 to go, a foul will put the Cornhuskers at the line.
Why? Why would you foul?
I don't necessarily think he meant to.
No, he literally walked up and put 2 hands on him, Roxy. That's like the epitome of fouling.
He just was wishing him Merry Christmas.
He just wanted
him a hug.
He wanted to give America more time with Roxy and Sean. Very impressive. 3 games here on the islands for Nebraska. Their fans, they're going to be getting on the plane, going back home, feeling really good about what they accomplished. And they should.
One more for Gary. 2nd straight year these two teams have met on a neutral floor, and the same team is going to win. Last year they met in South Dakota. And Nebraska win, and they meet in Honolulu here, and the Cornhuskers will take home the championship of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Josiah Lake missing a 3. DeMarco Minor has it stripped. That'll do it. And the championship in Honolulu on Christmas night, the 15th annual Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic belongs to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, 78-66 over Oregon State.
And they closed it with convincing fashion, a 6-0 run to end the game. They shot it well in all aspects. As a team, they shot 53% against a top 10 field goal percentage defense in college basketball. They shot 40% from deep, 83% from the line. They imposed their will inside the paint. The only thing you could say about Nebraska they didn't thrive at was scoring up points off of turnovers. They only had 4 points on the 12 turnovers that they created, but Coach Hoiberg should feel really good about his team, and he's got the blueprint and he's got the results now to show them. If we do this, we can accomplish that. And that's a powerful thing. You know, a lot of times you talk about film and trying to improve in certain areas. Sometimes it's showing them the film of how things work well and how the team has success when they buy in and they do it the right way. And certainly the last 4 games have been exactly that for Fred Hoiberg.
And on the other side for Oregon State, they can use this tournament and some confidence from this non-conference run entering their first go-around through the WCC.
Yeah, I mean, look, 10-3, nothing to hang their heads about. Defensively, they're still a really good team. They just played a larger, more physical team in this game today, and they came up short. But I think when you look at DeMarco Minor, he was sensational and disruptive at the defensive end, and I think they're going to thrive inside the WCC this year and be right there with St. Mary's and Gonzaga.
And you were right. I know you put yourself out there, but Bryce Williams, the most outstanding player of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. Mele Kalikimaka from Hawaii. And I'm teaching you this. Ha'ole makahiki ho. Happy New Year. For Sean Farnham, our ESPN crew, thank you for watching. Mahalo. Roxy Bernstein, so long. Nebraska wins the tournament.